the Strait of Hormuz. Right now, 8 countries are quietly preparing for economic collapse. Not because of a missile, not because of a bomb, because of a 21-mile strip of water that most people could not find on a map. The Strait of Hormuz. And as of this week, Iran has closed it. What happens in the next 72 hours in that narrow corridor will determine whether your gas prices double, whether some countries can keep their lights on, and whether the global economy survives intact. Here's everything they are not telling you. Here's the fact that puts everything in scale. Every single day, approximately 20 million barrels of oil pass through the Strait of Hormuz. That is 1/5 of all the petroleum consumed on planet Earth. Every day, Saudi Arabia's oil, Iraq's oil, Kuwait's oil, Qatar's oil, the UAE's oil, Iran's own oil, all of it exits through this one corridor. But here's the part the news is not explaining clearly enough. There is almost no alternative. The only backup pipelines in the region, Saudi Arabia's East-West pipeline and the UAE's Fujairah pipeline, can carry a combined maximum of around 7 million barrels per day. The strait carries 20 million. That 13 million barrel daily gap, it does not exist anywhere else on Earth. There is no warehouse. There is no backup route. If the strait stays closed, the world does not get that oil. Full stop. Build up fact 1. The countries you think will suffer most, are not the ones who will suffer most. The United States gets less than 10% of its oil from the Persian Gulf. Europe gets a meaningful amount, but has diversified significantly since 2022. The countries standing on the edge of economic catastrophe right now are Asian. China gets roughly 40% of its crude through the strait. Japan gets 88% of its oil from the Middle East, almost all of it through Hormuz. South Korea, 70%. India, more than half its LNG. This is primarily an Asian economic crisis wearing a Middle Eastern military uniform. Build up fact 2. Japan may be the most exposed economy on Earth right now, and almost nobody is talking about it. Japan has almost zero domestic energy production. It imports virtually everything. It has strategic reserves, roughly 200 days worth. But those reserves are not infinite, and markets do not wait for reserves to run out before reacting. Japan's currency weakened sharply the moment the closure was announced. Its stock market opened down. An island nation of 125 million people, one of the world's largest economies, is watching a 21-mile waterway determine whether it can keep factories running. Build up fact 3. Qatar, one of the world's largest exporters of liquefied natural gas, exports 93% of its LNG through the Strait of Hormuz. There is no pipeline alternative for gas. LNG must be shipped. When the strait closed, European natural gas prices surged 66% in a single week, not because Europe buys much Qatari gas directly, but because global energy markets are interconnected. A supply shock anywhere sends prices everywhere. Here's the fact that will send you down a research spiral at 2 a.m. Iran has had this plan ready for decades, not as a bluff, as a documented, rehearsed, military-drilled strategy. The IRGC, Iran's Revolutionary Guard, controls the northern shore of the strait. According to U.S. Defense Intelligence reporting, Iran possesses over 5,000 naval mines, specifically designed for rapid deployment by high-speed boats in shallow water. Naval mines are not like missiles. You cannot shoot them down. You cannot jam them electronically. The only way to clear a minefield is to send divers and mine-hunting vessels in. Slowly, carefully, one mine at a time. In waters where Iranian fast attack boats are operating and shore-based anti-ship missiles are pointed at you, in 1988, the USS Samuel B. Roberts, a U.S. Navy warship, struck a single Iranian mine in the Persian Gulf and nearly sank. One mine. The hull was torn open. 27 sailors were injured. It took months of repairs. Iran watched that incident carefully. It has spent the 38 years since then designing a mining strategy specifically calibrated to what a superpower navy finds hardest to counter. The United States can destroy Iranian air defenses in hours. It can sink Iranian surface ships in days. It cannot clear 5,000 mines in shallow hostile waters quickly. That asymmetry, the gap between American air power and the grinding slowness of mine clearance at sea level, is the military reality behind this crisis that most news coverage completely ignores. And here's the fact that will stay with you. The Strait of Hormuz is 21 miles wide. The navigable shipping lane, the channel deep enough for fully loaded supertankers, is just 2 miles wide in each direction. 4 miles total. In a strait that is 21 miles across, the economically critical portion is 4 miles. 4 miles of water moves 1/5 of the world's oil. A fully loaded supertanker, a VLCC, a very large crude carrier, carries up to 2 million barrels of oil and is longer than the Empire State Building is tall. These ships need deep water, specific lanes, and safe passage. They are not maneuverable. They cannot dodge. They cannot outrun a mine or a fast boat. When the shipping companies suspended operations this week, they did not do it because the entire strait was unsafe. They did it because those 4 miles were unsafe. Because in those 4 miles, the economics of global energy civilization, everything that keeps your lights on, your car running, your food transported, passes through a corridor roughly the width of a medium-sized city. 4 miles. That is what this war is really about. The Strait of Hormuz, 4 miles of navigable water, 1/5 of the world's oil, closed. Which fact from this video hit you hardest? The 5,000 mines? The 4-mile shipping lane? Japan's 200-day countdown? Drop it in the comments. I reply to every single one. Subscribe so you don't miss what comes next. I'm Olaimika. This is Frenzy Facts, and the world just got a lot more interesting.